Welcome! Reading Goodnight Stories with Bored Grandma. Hello, grandchildren. Grandma here. Are you all dressed for bed? Do you have your teeth brushed? If so, here we go. Tonight I'm going to read to you my big book of fairy tales by Peter Stevenson. Retold by Louisa Somerville. Billy Goat's Gruff. A long time ago, there were 3 billy goats who lived together in a rocky field on the other side of a valley. There was baby Billy Goat called Little Billy Goat Gruff, his big sister called Middle Billy Goat Gruff, and their big brother, whose name was Big Billy Goat Gruff. The 3 Billy Goat Gruffs had eaten all the grass on the hill where they lived, and they were still hungry. "I'm starving," said Big Billy Goat Gruff in his big, deep voice. "Me too," said Middle Billy Goat Gruff in a middling voice. "And me," squeaked Little Billy Goat Gruff in a very high voice. Now on the opposite side of the valley, the grass grew thick and green and juicy. And between the 2 valleys was a river with a rickety old bridge over it. How the 3 Billy Goat Gruffs longed to trit across the rickety old bridge to feast on the lovely long grass on the other side. "The grass on the other side looks so delicious," said Big Billy Goat Gruff, licking his great big jaws. "I agree," said Middle Billy Goat Gruff, licking her middling jaws. "Yummy!" was all Little Billy Goat Gruff could manage to say as he licked his tiny little jaws and felt his tiny little tummy rumbling. But it was not so simple to get to the sweet grass on the other side. The river was too deep and too dangerous for the 3 Billy Goat Gruffs to swim across. Neither could cross the rickety old bridge because beneath that bridge lived a big, ugly, and very fierce troll who loved to eat Billy Goat's best of all. "I'd love to have a big goat for dinner," the troll cried, rubbing his big, ugly tummy. One day, the Billy Goats Gruff were so hungry that they could stand it no longer. "We must make a plan to fool that troll," said Big Billy Goat Gruff. The 3 goats went away to different parts of the field to think until they each came up with a plan. Then they put their heads together, but not too close in case their horns locked, and discussed each plan in turn. Big Billy Goat Gruff told his plan first, but the other 2 slowly shook their heads. Then the Middle Billy Goat Gruff told her plan, but the other 2 slowly shook their heads. Finally, Little Billy Goat Gruff told his plan, and the other 2 nodded in agreement. It was a very good plan indeed. The next morning, the big, ugly troll was lurking under the rickety old bridge as usual. He was keeping a sharp watch in case a nice, juicy billy goat should venture onto the bridge. As time went by, the troll began to feel rather sleepy. It was nearly lunchtime, and the troll had dozed off under the bridge when all of a sudden he heard the trit, trot, trit of tiny hooves on his bridge. "Who dares cross my bridge with their trit, trot hooves?" growled the big, ugly troll in the deepest, fiercest voice he could manage. It was little Billy Goat Gruff, and he began to pretend to tremble with fright. "Excuse me, sir," he said. "It is only I, little Billy Goat Gruff. Please don't eat me. I'm hardly a mouthful for you, and I'm all skin and bones. My sister, who will be coming along soon, is bigger and plumpier and much tastier. She will be much better for you to eat." The big ugly troll scratched his big ugly head and thought hard about what the little Billy Goat Gruff had said. Fortunately, the troll was not very intelligent, and he agreed with little Billy Goat Gruff. "Very well," he mumbled. "Go ahead and I will wait for your sister. She will make a much finer dinner for me." And so little Billy Goat Gruff went trit trot trit across the rickety old bridge and off into the field of juicy grass, where he was soon munching away happily. The troll settled down again underneath the rickety old bridge. It was nearly dinner time, and the troll was getting rather hungry, but finally he dozed off. All of a sudden, he was woken again by the trit trot trit of the set of bigger hooves than before trampling across the bridge. He leapt up onto the top of the bridge, ready to gobble up whomever might try to get past him. "Who dares cross my bridge? I will eat them up, every last little bit," he cried in an even deeper, fierce voice than last time. Standing right in the middle of the bridge, as bold as anything, was the middle Billy Goat Gruff. She pretended to think that the troll was joking. "Oh, don't be silly," she giggled. "I am far too slim to make a meal for you, but my brother, Big Billy Goat Gruff, is coming soon, and he is just the right size to make a perfect meal for a big, handsome troll like you." The big, ugly troll scratched his big, ugly head and thought hard about what middle Billy Goat Gruff had said. In the end, he decided that it would make good sense. "Oh, all right then," moaned the troll as he rubbed his empty tummy. "I suppose I can last a little longer before I simply starve to death. I will wait for your brother, who will make a much finer dinner for me." So the middle Billy Goat Gruff went trit trot trit across the rickety old bridge to join little Billy Goat Gruff in the lovely green field on the far side of the valley. The troll settled down again underneath the rickety old bridge. It was nearly sunset, and he was getting very hungry indeed. But finally he dozed off. All of a sudden, the troll was disturbed by the deafening trit of heavy hooves clattering over his bridge. "Now I have you!" called the greedy troll in the deepest and fiercest voice he had ever used. Then he jumped out to find the big billy goat Gruff standing large as life in the middle of the rickety old bridge. "What a fine dinner you will make for me!" called the troll. But the billy goat Gruff was not in the least bit scared. "I am not ready to be a dinner for you or for anyone else," he bellowed in his deep, gruff voice. And then the troll saw just how very big the big billy goat Gruff was, and how sharp his horns looked. Now it was the troll's turn to be truly scared. In fact, he was terrified. His teeth chattered, and his hair stood on end as the big billy goat Gruff stared at him with his yellow eyes and slowly licked his jaws. "Please go across the bridge, won't you?" stammered the troll. But the big billy goat Gruff didn't seem to hear the troll. He continued to stare straight at him. Then he put his head down and charged at the troll. Faster and faster he thundered across the rickety old bridge towards the troll. He hit the troll with a huge thump and knocked him right off the bridge. Down, down, down went the troll and landed with a gigantic splash in the fast-flowing river. Then the big billy goat Gruff sauntered across the bridge, whistling as he went. Soon he was munching the sweet grass on the other side of the valley, alongside his younger brother and sister. Now the three billy goats Gruff go tritting over the rickety old bridge every day to the grassy field on the other side of the valley. Funnily enough, with all that sweet grass inside their tummies, they have each become so fat that any of them would make a fine meal for a troll if only a troll was clever enough to catch them. "Life is sweet," said big billy goat Gruff in his big voice. "I agree," said middle billy goat Gruff in her medium voice. Is all little billy goat Gruff could say in his very high voice, because his mouth was stuffed full of sweet grass. And for the troll, he was a very sorry sight indeed, as he pulled himself out of the river all covered in creepy crawlies. He hasn't been seen since, but people say that he declared that he would never lurk beside a river in search of his dinner ever again. The end. Now off to dreamland you go.